to the Hookup on Music with your host, Tony Burt.
Hello, everybody out there. I am Tony Burt, and I am your host tonight for the Hookup on Music. Got a lot of stuff to discuss. Took a week off last week. We are back this week. A lot of different news crossing our paths. We are here for episode 113. I cannot believe it. It is crazy how time flies when you are having fun, right? How many times can you say that in a year? But we are here today to share with you some really awesome music news, some sad music news, some stuff a little bit all over the map. If you happen to watch WrestleMania this past weekend, a couple cool musical performances that were showcased on there. Number one was Living Color performed live, Cult of Personality, as CM Punk made his way to the ring. And last night, as Damian Priest made his way to the ring, the amazing Kerry King just wailed on the guitar. It was awesome. His flying, he was flying all over the fire. Just so much coolness going on at one time. Always really, really, really cool to see those things. It's always cool at these wrestling events when they can get the live artists that are just pretty much come and go and come back, and they get to do all and play all that stuff and play live for the wrestlers, which I think is very cool. Some other news in the week since we've been gone, the Who have kicked out Zach Starkey, Ringo Starr's son, who's been their longtime drummer, and they have brought him back. It was a bit shocking that this whole thing occurred, but it did occur, and none wiser for it. So very, very glad he's back in the band, because you know what? We are family. We should always keep together and always try to keep everything smooth and with our bands and our fans, which definitely made a little bit of an uprise. Syracuse just held their biggest concert of all time. 47,500 Metallica fans descended to see the band in Syracuse at the Syracuse University at the Carrier Dome, which was very, very interesting. JMA Wireless Dome is the name that they're going by before, but before at this location, 47,000 by the Who, which we just brought up. So what an ironicity that the two new stories that we're sharing here with you are just that kind of a thing. But moving on to some sad news, the amazing Clem Burke has passed away. Clem Burke is the drummer from Blondie. Just so many great drum rhythms, Rapture, Heart of Glass, one way or another. Just The Tide is High, you go on forever. Atomic, you could just, this man was an amazing drummer. Joined the band from 75 up until touring up until very, 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 very recently. It's just shocking when somebody passes away. And again, just another awful loss of cancer. But he was just a great, great drummer, appearing on just so many, what's the word I'm looking for? 11 Blondie records, if you're counting. Pollinator being the what's the word I'm looking for? Their last official album, and he played drums on it. So he had been drumming for them for a while. But it's when you're sitting at home and these passings happen, you're just kind of like all over, like the what's the word I'm looking for? Not really expecting it. You're kind of expecting it. Is it something you can really ever expect? Can you prepare for? Can it be something that is something that you can kind of quote unquote just what's the word I'm looking for? Celebrate, because he's just such a great artist. Me personally, seeing Rapture, that music video, and just hearing that beat on that, it was really, really good. If you're looking for more of a deeper tracks, Parallel Lines is always a good place to start. Of course, you may know the hits off of there, like but Pretty Baby, Fade Away, and The Radiate. Hanging on the Telephone, which is a Nerves cover, is not quite as deep as you might want to go. Neither is Heart of Glass, but good Buddy Holly cover, and I'm Gonna Love You Too is always interesting. So thank you so much for your amazing drumming, Clem, and an amazing, awesome name too, Clem. What a cool name, but y- to, to be fair, his full name was Clement Anthony. That's me. Burke. So Clem shortened. I thought that was pretty cool. So they're calling him Clement, Clem. Um, was very, very, very awesome. But now we're going to move on to some new releases. You might say to yourself sometimes, when a band has been gone for a little while, will they come back with a new album? And when will that be? Can you guess what that is? Sometimes, me personally, I've been always real good to feel it in the air. And recently, I've just felt it in the air that the Arcade Fire are going to be back, and they are back with a new album called Pink Elephant, which is going to be released April. I'm going to say almost at April 8th, May 9th, which just right around the corner. Okay. Year of the Snake is the first track that's been released. Not bad. And it's also the final album to feature guitarist Richard Reed Perry, who left in 2025. So if you are a fan of him, definitely check this out. Curious to hear how it sounds. Their last album wasn't as popping as I would have liked it to be, but Regine Chassanet does a really good job singing on the first single, "A Year of the Snake." So check that out. And they always got some really cool colors. So I'm curious to hear what you think of that. But new music is always constantly dropping around here. I am always being shared with some really good heavy stuff, which I am going to dig a little bit into tonight. Some heavy. We're going to dig into some of the other stuff that I am being shared. I love being shared music. You got to be shared with some good music. If you're not being shared with good music, what are you doing? Melvin's got a brand new album, Thunderball, really good stuff there. Doomsday, Never Known Peace. You looking for super heavy? You're looking for that like really awesome sound that has been lacking. Bleed from Within, Zenith, not bad at all. Also digging in a little bit of Carcass recently. That's not a new album. Spirit World, Eldorado. Still digging into that. It's got a really kind of a cool vibe going there. Um, when we talk about these new artists and these bands, we want you to also dig into them and also share with us some of the ones that you're listening to. It's never too late to share some awesome music. Just today, I was shared Little Barry and Malcolm Cotto, Electric War. I'm digging into that one. Always really good by my main man who will be coming on here soon. Mike, he always shares the good stuff. Patrol. You ever hear of Patrol? I hadn't until it was shared with me. Um, that's why I like it. I like being dug into the good stuff, which is what we like here. We like the good stuff, and the good stuff is always here for us. And speaking of the good stuff, very, very recently, we've been digging into a lot of Mastodon. Many pieces to this band. Um, with the recent we had brought it up before leaving of lead guitar player Brent Hinds, you wonder how this band is going to continue, because sometimes when artists seem to leave, um especially for me, somebody who's newer digging into their catalog, it's curious to see how this is all going to really what's the word I'm looking for, play out for them. Because to be fair, um in the scheme of jamming and being a band and doing some really, really good stuff, we're always digging into Mastodon and wanting to hear them and see where they are going to, especially since within about 4 or 5 months ago, these guys have been added to my playlist. They're constantly being spun. Um, Really, really good stuff. I mean, to be fair, a lot of people told me right away to go for Leviathan, um, Blood Mountain, Crack the Sky. Once More Around the Sun is just a great album. That's the one that I've tried to dig into because of the awesome album cover that looks like something from Big Trouble in Little China, a movie that we just love down at the show. And if you have not yet, please dig into our last episode. It was really, really good. We talked Ben Affleck episodes and we talked the Jerky Boy soundtrack. Really good stuff on there from Collective Soul and so much more. But back to here. Once More Around the Sun is a great little indication of a band that is just rocking. Um, I was unfamiliar until starting to dig into this album. Troy Sanders, who is the vocalist and bass player, also has been playing bass for the amazing Thin Lizzy, which you say to yourself, Thin Lizzy playing bass for them, that's pretty cool. We gotta honor our Thin Lizzy fans, and Troy Sanders is a huge Thin Lizzy. But Once More on the Sun, great album cover. Emperor of Sands, if you're looking here, um, that album cover is really, really, really cool. A lot of different stuff going on. Before I even enjoyed the band, I was into that. Again, I just brought it up. Once More Around the Sun. Um, Whoever designed this amazingness, which we're going to get to here in a second, because I love to just throw that out there, um, is really, really talented. Because you say to yourself, um, you, my good sir, are well. To be fair, it's an Oakland-based artist. To be Skinner, which is doesn't mean anything. Um, Prior to its release, Troy Sayers started, it's going to be a work of art for sure. It's going to be very eye-opening, very striking. It's from another dimension. I mean, if you're looking online, it definitely looks like something from another dimension. Creatures, eyeballs popping. Definitely cool. Definitely for the heavy. Again, right here, this is the Leviathan album cover, which has the amazing Moby Dick. It's a really deep album. Again, jamming, 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 jamming. Lots of good jams on here, good guitar solos. You looking for amazing guitar solos, Mastodon is not going to hide their awesomeness in delivering that if you are a fan. But I'm a huge fan, and they are always, always, always really, really delivering the goods on all of these albums, which even this one, which one could say is kind of goofy compared to the other ones, The Hunter, but there's something to it. Maybe a tattoo in the making. I don't know. But an album cover for sure that is definitely memorable, which is what you want in your album covers. You want your album covers to be memorable, which Mastodon does a good job making their album covers memorable, and they have done this for a very, very, very long time. I mean, digging deep as I was speaking as I have, and you go back to their first album, which was released in 2002, Remission. Um, Definitely cool album cover here. There's just like something coming out of like a flying horse or a normal horse. One can't tell. Once hopefully I can meet Mastodon and get to the bottom of some of these questions that ache us. But Mastodon does a good job at delivering the goods through all of these albums. Guitar riffs galore, Curl the Burl, Burl the Curl. Just a really, really great, great, great track. Sticks with you. Girl of the Burl is just a definite jam. If that's one you haven't listened to in a long time, or Blasteroid or Stargasm off of this Hunter album, just listen to those three in a row, and my gosh, you're not going to be disappointed at all. Because, well, you know what? We don't get disappointed here at the Hookup on Music. Because we just love jamming so much, and love jamming with you. Um, we love when you share. I mean, someone share I'm back. Say to yourself sometimes, self, when did we actually leave this broadcast? Thank you so much for always sticking with me when we have these technical glitches here at the Hookup on Music. I hate technical glitches. You just never know when they're going to happen. At this time, I was rocking out and jamming on what we were talking about, Curl of the Burl, and definitely froze up. So I'm sorry about that. But coming back to it, check out Mastodon. You are not going to be disappointed. Bringing up where we are and where we are heading, I think we're going to dig into a little bit of a song of the week. Rare Earths, get ready to jam if you haven't heard this one in a long time. Um, a definite amazing cover. We've been talking recently, and hopefully we can do a show soon about maybe an original versus its actual cover. The original by the Temptations is a rocking number, but Rare Earth, who often gets mistaken in the late 60s, early 70s for I don't know. I just when you hear the bands from that time period, if you said somebody to name the 10 bands, they're not going to be it. I know they covered a lot of songs. They were a big cover and they do great cover tracks, but Rare Earths Get Ready is one that if you have not heard, um, I definitely suggest that you dig into that one because especially if you're having some kind of a party or a picnic, it definitely, rocks in so many different ways. I found these 8 tracks around the house growing up, and I used to say to myself, "What is a rare earth?" But, when you really think about it, um, where we are technically is, we're kind of in that rare earth, period when you think about it. Original track, though, on the album, 21 minutes and 30 seconds. If you've always only listened to the single version, you'd say to yourself 2 minutes and 46 seconds. So a difference of 18 minutes. So these guys could jam. Okay. Also was the B-side was Magic Key, originally released in February 18th of 1970. Rare Earths Get Ready is definitely a cover of amazingness, originally written by Smokey Robinson, produced by the band Rare Earth. Um, and one might say, where was Rare Earth from? Detroit, Michigan was where Rare Earth was from. So they were taking a lot of that Motown sound and they were kind of amping it up, jamming it out, psychedeling it out. Did a really good job on this version, which peaked at number 4 on the Billboard charts. Um, it was also routinely used by hip hop artist DJ Cool Herc in his turntablism performances, which I found to be very interesting. Um, great drum solo that goes on in this. Um, but you know what you say? Also recorded by the original author Smokey Robinson for his 79 album, Where There's Smoke. 6-minute disco version was also released as a single and made its way all the way to 82. So you say to yourself, this song wasn't so rare because it was actually filled with just great jams and great performances all around with the artists that were involved with it. So please jam on this one. Let me know what you think. If it's been a long time, always find it to be a good one in juxtaposition to what we've already talked about, the Mastodons, the Arcade Fires, the Blondies. Really good stuff. But tonight we have found ourselves at our Artist of the Week. Bobby Weir. That's who we're going to focus on tonight. Not the Dead, not the Grateful Dead, not Dead and Company, not any of that. We're going to focus on the amazing Bob Weir, who definitely never is shy to jam. He's been jamming since 1963 and continues to do so. Rarely ever takes a break. He is involved with the Wolf Brothers. He's been involved with Dead and Company. He's jammed solo. He's been involved with so many other things. Formerly the Grateful Dead, Kingfish, Bobby and the Midnights, the other ones, the Dead, Further. So much, and the man definitely, if you were to see him when the Grateful Dead broke up, he just looked so young. Now he has morphed into an amazing, 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 um, white-haired angel, which we just love here. He was a really awesome singer of the country and western songs in the Grateful Dead's repertoire, which was really cool. And honestly, I always found him to have a very, very unique voice, especially compared to one Jerry Garcia, whose voice was again very angelic. Bobby brought really, really great, more of a little bit of a raspy thing going on, which I found amazing. Born in San Francisco, being the youngest member of the Grateful Dead definitely had to be interesting when you were rocking with a lot of gentlemen who are 3, 4, 5 years older than you are, which you rarely, rarely see in these days, in these weeks. So Bobby was always holding it down. At the age of 13, with less successful inspiration with the piano and trumpet, he began experimenting with the guitar, which would always continue throughout the Grateful Dead. And if you are familiar, he was always being showed new things from the amazing Jerry Garcia, who was just an amazing, amazing guitar player. I mean, 5 years older than him, let him run around with the band to the point where, towards the beginning of the Dead, there was some pushback. Maybe Bobby wouldn't stick around because he wasn't maybe learning to the abilities of the other players, but they stuck with Bobby. And my gosh, his first solo album, Ace, is where we're going to find ourselves here right now, just loaded with great, 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 great stuff. And it also came out the same year as bandmates Jerry Garcia's Garcia and Mickey Hart's Rolling Thunder. But Ace has a lot of songs that have been part of the repertoire for a long time, playing in the band, Mexicali Blues, One More Saturday Night, Cassidy. Bill Kreutzmann plays on the album. Phil Lesh plays on the album. Jerry Garcia plays on the album. Kikuch, kind of good. Everyone seems to play on the album besides Mickey Hart, which is interesting. You wonder if there is was there a divide around this time where he wasn't wanting to do it? But Greatest Story Ever Told is really great too. Black Throated Wind, followed up by his self-titled with his band Kingfish, was what was next, which had Bobby Weir on guitar, Matthew Kelly on guitar, David Torbort. Very interesting. Lead vocals on Lazy Lightning, Supplication, Home to the Dixie, Big Iron, and Bye Bye Bye. Very interesting. Very, very interesting little album here if you haven't dug into the Kingfish album. Front cover gives me Blues for Allah vibes, which is really, really cool. They have a Live and Kickin' album, which is really cool. A little bit of a live thing. Then they come out with Trident, which had nothing to do with Bobby. He was not part of it anymore, I guess, which is funny how that happens. Sometimes you're part of that, but he does Heaven Help a Fool, his second full solo album artist, which while Mickey Hart recovered from some injuries that he had in an accident, Bobby dug into this album, which has an I'll Be Doggone cover, which is great. A great Marvin Gaye cover. If you have not heard that one, I think I definitely suggest that you should take some time to dig into it. Big Bill Chaplin's on that album too. Bobby and the Midnights album came out in 81. Hayes kicks that off. Brett Milan was part of that band, along with Bobby Cochran and Bill Cobham. Good stuff there. Again, Where the Beat Meets the Street, another really good solo album. I mean, if you're a fan of the band, do you ever really dig into Bobby's solo stuff? I mean, do you? I mean, can you? With all the Dead stuff, I mean, do you have the time? I mean, there's just so much goodness here that you say to yourself, it's awesome that he has done this. Blue Mountain came out in 2016. I was very lucky to see Bob Weir open up for the Allman Brothers Band, which was just a great show. Bobby was playing on all cylinders, which he usually does because it's Bobby Weir, and we love Bobby Weir. We love him any Bobby Weir we could get. We're happy, technically. You know, you gotta be happy when you're digging with some Bobby Weir. Um Live in Colorado came out recently, and that's him and the Wolf Brothers. And they dig into a lot of different stuff. They dig into a Big River by Johnny Cash, A Hard Rain's Gonna Fall, Bob Dylan, Lost Sailor, Saint of Circumstance. Jeff Chimenti plays piano on that along with Jay Lane, and Don Was on double bass. So again, Bobby is always keeping it real, keeping it going. We don't have any problem representing the amazing Bobby Weir here at the music. I mean, the Wolf Brothers, if you get an opportunity to check these guys out, they do really different takes on everything Bobby has been a part of. And these guys have no shame in covering some really great some really good stuff. So if I were you, I would definitely dig into this because it's good, and it really gives to the playing of Bobby a whole different light, which he has worked really, really hard on. But we have made our way all the way to the end of the show, which we're going to end up with a little bit of concert news. Which what can we have possibly for concerts? Let's wait and see. Concerts, lots of concerts, lots of good stuff. We are always, 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 always looking and sharing a lot of different things. Just announced this last week. Judas Priest, Corrosion of Conformity, and Alice Cooper are doing a tour. I find that to be really, 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 really interesting because again, that is right in my wheelhouse. I've been listening to a lot of Judas Priest lately. So go and check that out. What are you going to be seeing? I know there are a lot of awesome shows coming up. What do you got on your show list? Recently, my buddy Andrew, he was sharing some of the show he had been to recently, which I thought was just really cool. Which was a band called Free Throw, which was their 10th anniversary tour with Ben Quaid and Harrison Gordon. Sent me lots and lots of videos from this. Found it to be a very interesting as far as people getting up and rocking, which is more than interesting. It's really, really cool. But that's always cool to get out there and rock. And we're hoping this summer is right around the corner, and we're going to have some really good shows that we're going to be attending. Right over here at the Festival of the Lakes in Hammond, we have one night Third Eye Blind, another night John Fogerty. So you got Third Eye Blind and the creator of Creedence Clearwater Revival. I mean, just so many good choices, so many good stuff. Please go back and check out all our good stuff here that we have on the channel. Earlier, I mentioned at the show, check out our past episode. Matter of fact, go back and check out all of our episodes. We have some really good soundtracks that we dig into. We talk about the music a lot in these movies. Really, 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 really good. I'm just really happy to always share this stuff with you because, to be fair, weeks are long, days could be long, and you guys are like family out there. And please share every piece of music you can get because I need to hear it, and we need to hear it, and I need to share it because it's just awesome. So everyone out there, please have a good week. Enjoy the rest of your Monday night. If you are watching wrestling and listening to those awesome Slayer riffs by Kerry King, or you're just rocking out to Cult of Personality and have nothing to do with wrestling. I want everyone out there to have a good week. And we will see you next week, because you know what? Why not? We'll be back. We gotta be. All right, everyone out there, take care, and we'll talk soon. My name is Tony B, and this is the Hookup on Music, and we thank you for joining us.
Thank you for listening. Please look out for the audio version wherever you jam.